And we're live. Oh my goodness. Hi, Janine.
Hi, Debbie. So, we want to welcome everyone to Ghostly Tales with Janine and Debbie tonight. Thank you, everyone who has already liked and subscribed to all of our pages. Tonight, we have a special guest with us. Our guest tonight is Arica. Arica, please share with our guests a little bit about yourself.
Hi. I am a psychic intuitive empath, a Heyoka empath. It just means that I'm super sensitive. Um, and it gets a little hard because sometimes we think of it as a crutch, but really it's a superpower. So it's kind of good that I have it. It took me a while to get into, but I also do intuitive readings. I do antique button readings. Those are really interesting because you just never know what you're going to get. But other than that, I've had some really different experiences that I thought I'd share. I moved into a fairly new house and found out I had a whole bunch of guests.
Ooh.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
find
that's
the antique
that's
button reading
spooky. I
very
can't
interesting.
wait to hear.
So,
So,
we're
yeah.
totally excited to hear your stories of the guests that you have in your home and other ghost stories that you have for us. Do you want to go ahead and get started with your first one?
Sure. Okay, so when I first moved into my house, I had just had an unsettling feeling. Like there were times where I would feel watched or, you're not feeling alone. And I I was already a psychic, but I wasn't so involved with mediumship at that point when I moved in. It turns out it just came to me. I would be down, I have a pond. I would be down by my pond and I'd be working on my yard and I'd look up and I'd see Indians and I would see pilgrims and I would see, like battle scenes and stuff. So I had some kind of battle on my property. But the scariest experience I had, um, I read for someone who got like manipulated or conned, and she got angry about the reading. Um, she had been requesting a puppy and sent someone money for a puppy and asked me, how was everything? And at the time, I was an energy reader, just like this was a while ago. And it turned out that it was a scammer. Like as far as the energy read, she was gathering money for the puppy, um, but she'd gotten really mad, and she was also a witch and sent me a demon.
Oh my
So I'm in
gosh.
my house, in my room. Yeah, in my room, in my house, and I'm sitting in my bed, and all of a sudden I'm having these nauseous attacks and I went to run out of my bedroom because I had another friend tell me, "Hey, you have an entity, like a big entity, a demon in your house." And I had never had one before. I had no idea. Like I had the night that it came, my guides tripped my smoke alarms in my house, and I ran out of my bedroom butt naked. Thinking my house is on fire. And I'm like, okay. And so that was their first alarm to me. And then the second one was when it attacked me in my bedroom. And as I'm leaving my bedroom, because I was nauseous, heading into the bathroom, it blew my breakers in my bedroom, in my bathroom, anywhere where I walked. It would just blow, blow, blow. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went down to my garage because it was the only place that I had any electricity left. I had to call a neighbor and say, I just blew all my fuses. I had no idea. But I knew what it was. I mean, you can't tell, you can't call your neighbors and say, hey, by the way, I have this demon over here.
Oh
But
my
yeah,
gosh.
I
Yeah.
had to deal with it. And it was intense. It was a learning experience. Oh, and the energy from that was like crazy scary. And you find out who your friends are because like nobody would have anything to do with me at the time because they were like, we don't want anything to come to me. And I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? You know? So it was an experience, a very scary one, but you know, it really did the opposite of what they wanted it to do. It really reinforced my belief in my faith. It made me realize how strong I was, and it was just one of those experiences that you will never forget. So
Oh, I can
yeah.
only imagine, Erica, that you had something so strong there. And, when you get to that demon status and go up that ladder, that's pretty strong. And they can cause fires and they can, do these really, hurtful things. So, um, I think that you are kind of pretty lucky that, you know, it didn't get to where people were getting sick and this, that, and the other.
I did have food smelled putrid to me. I lost 25 pounds. Um,
Oh my
I had to wait to get a
goodness.
priest in here to bless. Yeah. Yeah, it was months of trying to get it out. It was not an easy fix, and I did have to call the Catholic Church and have a priest come over and bless my house. It was the only way. And it was
Oh, that
mostly
was
in this room. So
good.
when I came home, as I could drive up, I could see this room just light up. I could see the entity in this room. So yeah, it was different. And I have cats, and I just didn't want to leave my pets alone in the house. And I've had multiple friends say I would have left. I'm like, you can't leave. They will follow you and you'll put other people in
Y-
danger. And I didn't want to do that.
Right. Especially a demon. A
So
demon will, pursue whoever they're supposed to. And
yeah.
that's really hard. And I'm so glad that you did get a priest out because a lot of times they're not going to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I went and I would have him bless me. And I would take holy water home from the church. He knew I was dead serious. Um, so yeah, and it was affecting my life. I mean, I was scared to death. Like I would leave the house just to get some peace of mind. So yeah, I mean, it was an experience.
Did the priest believe that there was something there?
I think in order for him to have come, he had to have believed something was here.
Good, good. I'm so glad that you had help. Um, a lot of times people, do that, what you said, they just leave thinking, my girlfriend did that. She had a demon. And so and they had the fires, the breaking glass, they had infestation of rats, they had floods in a very nice, affluent neighborhood. And so she moved. She moved not far away and it all started happening. Every single thing that was happening in that house started happening in that house that they bought.
Yeah, a lot of
Yep,
people
I
also
had
think that they can.
flies.
Yeah.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
flies are pretty common. Yeah, many people think that they can handle it on their own and try to get rid of whatever it is, and then sometimes it actually kind of gives it more strength that makes it worse off. So it's really good that you were able to actually get a priest to come in, someone who knew what they were doing.
Well, when it comes to demons, I tell people think that they're going to just one and done. Good luck.
I
Because
know.
sometimes the stronger they are, you have to do it again and again and again and get them out. Because Janine, what it's like when we say, well, if you do this, it's going to piss them off.
Hmm.
Okay. Whatever it
Yeah.
is going to get pissed off and you're going to have more activity. So be ready for that. And then you keep going
Mhm.
and back them down and you can get rid of them. But, and I say if you can't, then you need to get somebody like Samantha E. Harris was a demonologist. I don't know that she's practicing anymore. I think she was going to go back to it, but good for her. She had a child and she's decided I have to get away from this for a while, and she did. But she wrote. I have her
Yeah.
book, and so she's somebody that would step in that could get rid of something that nobody else can. And sometimes I wonder if the priests all can take care of it at all times? I think not. I think
No.
there's different entities out there
Right.
that they may not have any power, persuasion, or control over.
That's very true. Yeah, and not every priest is going to be able to come in and deal with this anyway. Like you have to be trained and know what you're dealing with before you even start messing with it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did have a demonologist as well. Um, but
Oh good.
yeah, but like it kept coming back, and so,
Hmm.
yeah, eventually you do what you have to do. But it took time, like I said, and it's not like, your simple entities go, and then you sage the next day. You have to hose your whole house down. I had to
Well,
hose
every
all of the
corner.
walls down with holy water. Yeah, every
Well,
corner,
well,
everything. I mean, it was a lot of work, very draining. So, yeah.
there's some things that you can do, and I love this song by John Waller, Our God Reigns Here. And I say, get on your phone. Your phone can get in every nook and cranny, in every, along the ceilings, the closets, everywhere. Because as Janine and I know, they like the closets, don't they, Janine?
Oh, they do. And under beds.
Yes. Yep.
So, there's, and everybody thinks too, Erica, that the whole thing is all you have to do is to smudge. Light the sage up and it'll take care of everything. And we know that that doesn't work.
Oh.
Absolutely not. Yeah, with the
If
situation at my
only,
sister's
right.
house, I wouldn't 100% say it was a demon, but I'm not going to 100% say it wasn't a demon. And what we were dealing with was able to heat up walls and shake walls and control people's actions and emotions. And it wasn't like we just went in and, it was a one and done. It was literally waging war against whatever was in her home to get it out.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
That was quite a story, Erica. You went through a lot with that, but you know what? When you do, you gain experience and to
Yes.
what works, and you faced off something. You get to know your strength and your confidence. So I
Hmm.
applaud you for that, because it's not easy. I've got such a warded area and house that I don't have the big dark stuff come in. I had the hag. She slipped in somehow in the bedroom one night. But other than that, the things are pretty benign. And they move stuff and they make the log knocks and stuff, which I wanted to tell you guys. I was watching William Shatner's Unbelievable or something, and they were talking
Hmm.
about, or it might have been the new Dan Aykroyd one. They were talking about the White House, and they happened to say that there was someone there staying that had three loud knocks at the door, and went looking for this, and went right after this thing they thought was going to be a person, and couldn't find it. And that's documented in a letter, that they knew that the Secret Service or whatever, the protectors, the guards, weren't going to let anybody out. They're going to see somebody running or whatever. But I thought that was really neat, because that to me validated the three giant knocks I was getting every morning at 3 a.m. So interesting though.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely interesting stuff. And the knocking in different patterns is very, very similar throughout most stories that are told about experiences.
Wow, Erica, do you have another story?
I do. I have a friend who did spirit boards, which are basically a different Ouija board, right? And so she put your spirit animals on, and I thought, okay, I can control this, and unfortunately, I didn't know much at the time about shielding and how entities slip in. And so, one of the spirits I have in my house was very powerful. And I'm always amazed at how entities know your darkest, deepest, scariest stuff, like people you dislike, And so anyway, I was playing with it, and it told me that my ex sister-in-law was really angry at me for communicating with my nieces, even though I'm divorced, and that she was going to come kill me with a gun, that she was on her way over to my house, and that she was going to come kill me. And it freaked me out. Like, it knew things that I wouldn't have, and I didn't think anything of it at the time. I'd never had anything say anything to me like that. And I flipped out and called my sons, and it told me that she was going to hurt my sons first, and then that she was going to come after me, and that she had lost it. And so I had called my ex-husband and told him, you got to go check on where your sister is, because he knows that we never got along in that marriage. And I told him what had happened, and so he had called and made sure his sister was there, but it had me totally egged on. I had even called the police and said, "You got to walk around my property. I am freaked out."
Oh, wow.
And like, I was new in mediumship, and I could see the entity that was in my house. And I had no idea that it was a negative entity. I was like slightly new to mediumship at that point. And but yeah, it kept telling me, "She's coming, she is coming." And I'm like, oh my gosh, it scared me silly. I ended up taking that Ouija board out into the middle of nowhere. I had my guides direct me where to go, because I wanted to give it back to the earth, and you shouldn't burn those. So I went and had a little ceremony and dug a hole, and it looked so weird, because here I am, this girl with a shovel. I'm like, nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. I'm just burying a board. But yeah, I buried a board, lit a candle, called in, the white light, and said, "This is not for me." But there are things that sometimes I think certain people think they can control, and I was just not. I mean, it'll never happen again because of that, but it was an experience.
You know what? It was feeding you so much to fear. Here's some more fear. Here's some more. I'm going to
Yes.
back it up some more. And
It,
then getting, maybe
yes.
a little stronger through that energy that you're putting off that they liked. Fearful.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That was
it did, between the
crazy.
demon and the board. It messed with me for like a really long time. But I did eventually get that ghost out of my house as well. So I mean, I've learned a lot about getting rid of stuff, about being able to know, if it's negative, what it, going into investigating it, and removing it. So I've learned a lot. Maybe not all the most wonderful experiences, but now that I know them, they will never happen again.
Erica, you
So.
have all these experiences and everything. Were you always psychic growing up, and or did something happen that brought all this out, this knowing out for you?
When I was a little girl, I could see my guardian angels, and they scared the crap out of me, because, they're big. And all I could see was like this big, like they looked cloaked to me. And I would spend all my time underneath my covers really young. I mean, it just, you know, and then, time goes on, and you kind of get over that stuff, but I could always see energy. And the women in my family, I come from other psychic women, even though my mom didn't really understand it. My grandma really didn't understand it, but they were highly intuitive. Um, but no, I could always, when I was little, I could see a lot of different things, and I just loved rocks and crystals, and you couldn't get me away from them, and the garden stuff. Turns out I have a really big past life in fairies, so they're my most predominant thing. My fairies, and I see dragons, and so I see a lot of different things. But when my dad died, everything really came bolting forward, And when I moved out here, I happened to move out onto Indian land, and that's amplified. So it was just an experience.
Wow. And so now you have you give readings and you have a Facebook page. So we want everybody to check you out at Atlas Readings by Erica. And so what kind of services do you do, or what kind of readings?
I can do love readings. I can do general readings. My general readings are really nice because, we all have so many different things. It's really hard to boil down our problems into one pot of stuff, right? So sometimes my readings will split into two different things, but like I said, I'm more of an oracle person than I am tarot. I can do tarot. I understand tarot. But I'm better at my oracles, so that's mainly what I do. But I can intuitively read crystals on people, or I can go into their buttons and get the feel of the button, and how many holes does it have, what color is the button, is it ridgy, it tells a lot about people's personalities, and I can ask, this is a past button, what have they gotten through, this is a present button. And I try really hard to focus more on the present, and people want to push ahead to the future, but I think the present is most important, because we tend to lose our focus, and so we have to gain more control in the present than we do anything else. So and when we have those life storms, everything can be so unclear because we're so wrapped up in the chaos of it. So it's really good to counsel other people and to see what spirit has to say about it. So I really just point people in the direction they need to go. That's why I call my reading as Atlas readings.
Right. And I love, and we talked before, I love that you read the buttons. When I teach tarot, I try to let people have, get this open mind about stuff. And it's funny because I'll take the whole deck in front of my students and I will toss it in the air and they go everywhere. And I said, so don't don't narrow that you have to have it perfectly aligned. You can read that. You can read, throw bones, throw rocks. You can read anything. So it is just not tarot cards type, So when you said you did buttons, are there antique buttons or any kind of buttons?
I actually ended up at an estate sale, and this lady had these antique jars, and she was really cool. It was like a lady who had like she traveled the world. She had all this different stuff, but she had these buttons in these containers, and he wanted a lot for like these antique jars. And I'm like, I don't want the jars. I want your buttons. And he's like, well, what are you going to do with my buttons? I said, I'm actually a psychic, and I would like to read people with those. And so anyway, he was kind of fishing for a reading before I left, but you have to cleanse your stuff, and I put them in tobacco so that they're have protective qualities, and I'll put them out in the sun and clean them off. But I also have like a crystal bowl I put them in. So I do like a lot of light work and smudging with them, but I just think they're the neatest things. They hold old history.
I think it's great. I'm so interested in all of that. And I'm so glad that you had that open mind to get your natural abilities and recognize that that works with the buttons or the oracle cards and all of that. We have to find what works for us, and I think that's very unique. And I love that idea of doing that. And so we want to make sure that everybody does go and follow you on your Facebook page. Again, Atlas Readings by Erica. And we have Christy saying hello, and Carlos just came in and he said hello to
Christy.
everybody. So that's wonderful. So you have a lot of, do you have like paranormal activity on a regular basis now in your house, or just kind of fun spirits come in?
You know what? I do. I have them. Well, I've learned my shielding. I'm still like in the process, but I mostly I'm, it's a long process, but I do have them walk around my house all night long, and then like I'll see them like put their face up to the window, hoping to get help me, and it's like I know. I think every reader really needs to delve into their own authentic thing, and we look at so many other people and we think, oh, they're so much better than us. Oh, this person can do this. The more you delve into that authentic self, like the better your readings become. I mean, and the more I get, I get so surprised at every reading. I find something new out. So I just love the energy that I get, and when I don't get great energy, I'm aware of it now. And it took a long learning curve for me, but and I'm still in it. Like you never stop learning. So yeah.
That's amazing. Janine, she just said that the ghosts look in the window. We have great stories about that.
Yeah, just watching them kind of float by the window, like, hey, I'm
Yeah.
here.
I was warding them, Erica, to stay out. And in this room here, we would have seances, and there's a window over that way. And so I warded. They can't come in. And so Janine and Chris Oliver was watching them go up, and then we're on the second story, and they go up to the third, and then they come back down, and they look in because they know, they're looky-loos, and they're not going to hurt anybody. They want to communicate, but for seances, I like to control what spirits are coming in, so we have clear messages for everybody. So that's really cute. When you said that, I was thinking about them looking in your window. Hello.
I did that last night. Yeah, I've got like these French doors, and they're just glass. And every time I walk by, I always have a face like, I'm like, no, it not happening.
Right.
Not that, but like you want your privacy at night, and I'm just like, oh, yeah.
Yes, of course, but I needed my sleep. And when they really wanted to be there at 3 a.m. And I'd roll over in bed, and I'm looking, and there would be a lady like right on the mattress. Hello, hello. And I'd be going, hi, I need to sleep.
Yeah, I definitely
But
set boundaries for
Right.
my home, but I also set boundaries in my car because I work in a lot of haunted locations on a regular basis. And so sometimes if I'm in Old Town ready to give a tour, I'll just kind of like relax a little bit in my car before I get out, and I'll hear tapping and little faces peeking in. Are you coming? Are you coming out to play? And it's like, yeah, at least they're outside of the car, because in the past they would try to get in the car with me.
I was, I'm always looking at the ghost stories and people's true experiences. And so many times you get these things that go and race with the car alongside. But somebody actually said like a demon went straight across, the hood of the car. And and was messing with him, and that's more what I think about if they were messing with me. But you just get always do inside your car, right, and around your car with
Correct.
protection. And if I go out and before anybody goes home, I'm doing around, well, when we get there, I'm everybody's like talking, and I'm there with my scrabbly juice, and I'm saying my prayers of protection and bringing in the archangels and going around everybody's. And also when they leave, doing the crystal and the tuning fork, around them and all of that. The only time that didn't work is we were at the 10th Avenue Arts Theater, Janine, up in the priest or the minister's office. And Chris Oliver was sitting there. So there I am with my ding. I thought that's all the protection that we need, even though it kept saying there's a hat man in there, in the basement. So I went around Chris, and then she went boom, because a spirit push on her. Boom. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I got my St. Benedict cross. I've got my thing. I'm doing the ding thing. So then we had to use a little bit more stuff, the holy water and all of that. But I was really surprised that there was something strong enough. And just to kind of, I don't know why they chose her. They pushed her forward like that. Nobody touched her, pushed her like that. And then I knew, okay, we have something else in there, but it didn't hurt her. But it's
just enough to get a point across at that point.
Yeah, I'm here. You're not gonna stop me. But that was kind of fun because I chased the energy around on camera. Arica, we have one of the people that work with us, Lena. She was we were practicing the tour, and behind her the door opened, and I think Janina opened 3 times.
3 times.
But she's not thinking. She goes and shuts it and turns it, and then she's saying her thing again, and it poops. So, and she shuts it. And on the 3rd time, we're laughing. And on the 3rd time, she's like, it's opening by itself and shutting. So we knew that there was a ghost in there. There was a spirit in there. Do you remember who that spirit was, Janine?
There was a female in there. She was going in and out of the 2 different doors that were on that same wall, back and forth.
That is where I chased energy in. I thought it was a male, though, a young male. I chased it around the room, and then I chased it over to that door that was locked, and it went through it, and I went and chased around that one. But there were several. That's a very haunted place, and are you going to be having a tour there anytime soon?
We're going to start doing monthly or bi-monthly tours out of that theater and investigation starting in January.
Oh, great. Now, do you have a tour of Old Town coming up?
So next Saturday, we will be doing a tour in Old Town at 6 p.m. I'm going to take everybody around the Heritage Park area, show them the haunted Victorian buildings that are up there. And then we're going to make our way down into the main heart of Old Town and do some crystal and gem shopping at South American Imports.
Oh, that's my favorite rock place.
My favorite as well.
I love it. I love getting the discounts.
Yes. Oh, he loves us so much. We're in there so often that I always walk away with something extra thrown into the bag. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, a real good creative price. They're great there, but you can get anything from, real pearls, and they're nothing, and you can get a whole handful, and they're so pretty. And I got an emerald there, and I thought, an emerald, well, and it was fashioned, but it still was rough. But it was dark green, and I maybe paid $5 for that. Really good things there. Fun and fun.
I bought this ring here. Let's see if I can get it in the camera there. Which direction do I want to turn it? Let me hold it this way. So I have this ring here that I bought there. Has my birthstone, which is a garnet, in there. I've had it for 4 years now, and it's done so well with my body that it never tarnishes.
Oh, that's great.
$20. Such great deals inside there.
Fun. He would I remember the younger one. He would, I'd say, Palo Santo, because I want the fresh, I want the real. And he'd go and climb under the table with the table, all the way down, or the sheets, and he'd be down there. No. There you go. So always fun. We love those crystal and rock shops. So South American Imports is across from the Whaley House, you guys. Certified. How is that certified? Certified haunted house, right?
Yes, it's actually considered to be the most haunted house in the USA, though I will say that I've been in some that are a little bit more haunted. But our Chamber of Commerce only certified houses as haunted for so many years in the early 1900s, and 2 of them were given that distinguishment, which was the Whaley House and the Winchester Mystery House.
Right. Oh my goodness. I went past the Winchester and I go, I want to stop. And I kept going. And I think that would be good. Whaley House is haunted, but when I'm there, I'm not getting a lot. My house is more haunted.
They know who to mess with and who not to mess with. And at this point, it has weekly activity. I mean, they do document with weekly activity.
Yeah.
I just happened to be in the house the night that this old antique clock that has never once worked the entire time they've owned it and had it inside the home. It decided to chime that night. So that was quite interesting. We even had a device that looked like a coffin, and you would, turn it to set it. And the only way that it would start to make music if a ghost pushed it. And so we actually had it making a weird noise instead of the music noise box inside the house there. When we went over, something had taken the little band thing off of the gears.
Oh my goodness.
So it was making
Arica, what are you looking at? Do you have a ghost?
I have a lot of Galactic Council in my house, and they.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I had one over to the right of me, but yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know why yet. I mean, I kind of do, but it's different. It's just different energy. But yeah, they make themselves quite apparent.
I was chatting with Carla Fishing Hawk one night when she goes, "You've got somebody standing next to your desk, standing next to you." I'm like, "Okay, yeah." And then she said, "It's an alien." And I'm like, "Well, that's new. Maybe I don't want you here, though." That's a new one for me.
Yeah, they have a lot of energy. It takes a really long time to get rid of them. If you don't want them, I have repeatedly asked them to back down. So, and they really like me. I'm unclear as to why, but they know I don't want any intergalactic activity at my house. I've already had enough. So
true.
I think they just come and watch. I don't know what's so curious about me, but apparently something.
Well, probably your psychic ability.
Yeah.
The communication that you have that most people don't. They're probably interested, or how are you going to use it? Something like that.
Right.
I don't want to go there either. I let the whatever stay around for a little while, and I said, "Okay, you're out," because there's only so many things that I'm going to direct myself at, and I don't need to have a +1 here, something new. We're Janine and I go do a lot of portal stuff, and we had one that was really dangerous in Pioneer Park in San Diego, and it was attacking Janine and also our friend Sean that was there, and scratching them and all that, and pushing them back with the wind. It was crazy, and we were having a tour. We have people. I have my people. We're having a tour. And Janine and Sean are I call it the wampum tree because it's always aiming its fruit or seeds and to hit Janine with them. Oh my God. That was an insane tree.
Definitely whatever was in there was really strong. It did take a lot of, power to get that out of there. And the park actually does feel different now that has been closed.
Yeah, it was the one that was at the top of the tree.
Yep.
And so I left my group with my son and stay here. And I keep a backpack of all my potions and my stuff. And I went over there and we needed first aid because it cut and lifted, Janine, your skin right off your arm. Yep. And it was scratching Sean's legs up. and all of that. And then you guys said there's a portal up there. Funny thing is, Janine, you guys said it was dark. There was an entity in it, but it was darker than the portal. Everything was very dark, but you could see this entity. And I think that's when you said you volunteered me to go take care of it.
Well, your scrabbly juice is some pretty strong stuff, so it definitely worked out to send you over there to clear it out.
Yeah, Samantha E. Harris has the warfare prayer. So if anybody has anything strong, just get hold of me at psychicfixes@gmail. I'll send you a copy. And they go and they do every room in the house and everything. And the whole family, everybody involved will say this warfare prayer. Very strong. But I use my stuff and I say my prayers and I bring in the big guns. And I went all the way around that wampum tree, which has never done anything to me. It's only whatever that thing is with you, Janine. And I went all the way around and then I was done. And then Sean said that the portal actually shrank and went away. So I'm glad it's gone. There's enough creepy, dark stuff at Pioneer Park with all those. How many dead bodies are under the picnic area?
I mean, the whole cemetery has at least 4,400 that they know of, but there was some fire, so there could be more than they're expecting to see there, but at least 4,400.
Was it a battle or was it like?
It was actual cemetery called Calvary Cemetery, but what happened is in like the 70s, it went uncared for and nobody was taking care of it. And so sadly, even today, if a cemetery goes uncared for a certain amount of years, the city can do whatever they want with the land. And so they went ahead and removed the headstones and turned it into a park.
Bulldozed.
Yep. Bodies are still there.
Yeah, and they went down to the canyon and brought some up. Which, you guys, there's a canyon there that has some dark thing, and so they saved some of them because people got so outraged that we would take the antique headstones and bulldoze them. Not the only place in San Diego; they've done that in other places. Yep. And then people barbecue over the dead people. And the swing sets and the cars park, and there's all dead people under there.
They have concerts during the summer. Like, it's a full-blown park, soccer games, everything taking place, but all the bodies are still down below.
And when it rains, there's like a depression in that one place that kind of makes the outline of a coffin.
You can totally see the shape of where they had dug the holes. Just kind of sinks down.
I think that place is so darn haunted. Wow. It really is. But even Old Town San Diego,
do you like the swings. Yeah. At night does it have do they videotape it? Like, have you done that to see the?
There's tons of tours there. There's tours and paranormal investigators that go there. Chris Oliver was there, and Janine knows his story a little bit more than I do, but we do only have a couple more minutes than we need to go. But she got, mistaken identity. There was an entity, the grandpa, Janine?
Yeah, so there's a grandfather spirit that kind of hangs out on this bench that's right as you're coming in the entrance from the parking lot. And there's a small tree across from it with like 3 big branches kind of coming up out of it. And so Chris and her friend were standing there. They thought that the meetup was that Saturday, but it actually was the very next day, Sunday. So they were there by themselves. So she gets out her Ovilus and she's kind of exploring around that tree. And her friend says, I'll be back in a minute. And so the very first thing that came out of the Ovilus, which we all know is supposed to say one word at a time, was making smoke. So it said 2 words. And so she's like, making smoke. And so she's looking around and her friend is lighting up a cigarette. So she's like, okay, there's definitely something intelligent here. And so then the next thing she hears, and I'm sure many of you have heard an Ovilus, it has kind of like a monotone voice, like Sirius or, whatever. And it said pretty gruffly, personal space. And she was like, personal space? Personal park, personal grass, personal tree.
Back off.
And this tree had like a ring underneath it that had been cut out. It had all the mulch in there. She takes a step into the mulch area closer to the tree, and she gets what's like the Heimlich maneuver. Like hard enough that by the time I came up there later that night to see her, she had bruises and it made her pee and vomit and everything else. That's how hard it was. Because he was protecting his granddaughter's spirit that was playing in the tree. And because Chris was a little smart alecky with her response, he didn't trust her. So he got a hold of her. Definitely, we have made amends with Grandpa. We say hello to him every time we come into the park, and we have not had a problem since. He knows that we're not there to harm him in any way. But definitely, it's all about respect with humans as well as spirits, because they were once living too, and so we can be smart alecks from time to time, but it might not be the best thing to do when you're out on an investigation.
That's right. That was crazy. I remember her just saying it was like getting really punched in the stomach, and she was all bruised up for a long time. That's crazy. But I'm looking at the time. I'm the timekeeper tonight. Arica, please stay on after we click off. But thank you so much. And everybody,
Sure.
please go see Atlas Readings by Arica on Facebook. And Janine, I'm going to leave it to you to say goodbye to everybody.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for tonight's episode. We will see you all next Sunday. Don't forget to follow Arica, Debbie, as well as SD Spooky Adventures, and we will see you all next time.
And I got to add, Maddie, Tarot, and I will be doing free readings tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. on YouTube, Psychic Fixes, and Facebook. And he's going to do some dice readings and pendulum. It's going to be really great. So we'll see you guys. Bye, Arica. Thank you so much for being on the show.